I stepped out of the drop pod. Metal dust clung to my boots. The ground beneath me hummed. Not a natural sound, not a gentle vibration. Something hungry, impatient, alive. The sky was green, green like the inside of a broken circuit. A thick green haze choked the horizon. Shadows moved inside it, shapes too tall, too sharp, too wrong. My hands brushed my rifle. Cold steel, scratched, worn in the right places. My fingers knew every groove. My rifle didn't need encouragement. I needed courage. The first blast hit nearby. Dirt exploded. Small rocks ricocheted into my helmet. My stomach did a flip. My chest stayed still. They called this a training exercise. I laughed. A sharp, bitter laugh, dust in my throat. No one heard, only the wind, only the hum. I moved forward, boots crunching on broken metal. The ground smelled of electricity and burnt oil. Not death, not yet, just danger waiting politely. I passed the first line of alien soldiers. They didn't notice me. 3 meters tall, 4 limbs, skin like cracked glass, eyes like liquid mirrors. They were statues in motion. Perfect. I thought, sweet baby plasma, they're too clean, too ordered. One of them turned. Head tilted. Did it see me? I ducked behind a ruined transport. My heartbeat knocked against my ribs. I had no plan. I had only instinct. My eyes scanned the battlefield. Machinery moved in rhythm. Explosions in the distance. Tiny sparks bouncing like fireflies trapped in wires. I saw the command tower. Too high to reach by stairs. Too guarded to reach by logic. I smirked. No problem. Humans never rely on stairs. We climb walls, we leap gaps, we surprise, always surprise. I crouched behind a pile of rubble. A small drone hovered past. I froze. Its single eye reflected my visor. I held my breath. It did not see me. I exhaled slowly. A laugh bubbled in my chest. Not a real laugh. Something dangerous and light, like shaking a wasp nest and surviving. Then a scream far away. Alien, sharp like glass snapping, not a panic scream. A recognition scream. Something broke inside them, something they did not expect. I smiled. Not because I was safe, not because the fight was over. I smiled because I understood. Humans were always the unaccounted variable, always. I checked my rifle again. The scope scratched, lens dirty. I wiped it on my sleeve. My reflection stared back. My own eyes calm, too calm. The alien army shifted. The ground vibrated under their weight. Not a march, a flood. They moved as one organism, predictable, repetitive, beautiful in the wrong way. I thought about my first day of training. My sergeant yelling, "You'll never survive an actual battlefield, human." I remembered the slap to my helmet, the sting, the promise. I moved again. Crouch, crawl, slide under a beam, jump over molten metal. A small rock skittered across the floor. Noise, my heartbeat answered it. The wind did not answer. I reached the edge of a crater. Smoke rose like lazy serpents. The smell of burned fuel and alien sweat stung my nose. I breathed through my helmet, filtered it out. Perfect. I watched the alien soldiers assemble in formations. Lines, grids, circles, patterns humans never learn, except one human, me. I squinted through the haze. Far away, a target moved. A commander, large, armored, eyes glowing. The one they all obeyed without question. The one who would change everything if taken down. I smiled again, my hand steady now, calmness settling like ink in water. The world around me slowed. Not really, but it felt that way. Every step they took, every mechanical movement, I recorded it, memorized it. I checked my ammo. Rifles, grenades, knives, enough to make a difference, not enough to win, not yet. I thought about Earth, my home, my friends, my mistakes, my blood money. A memory passed, the first time I shot a moving target. A drone, not alive, not smart, but I hit it. Dead center. My heart leapt then too, not from pride, not from skill, from the thrill of the impossible. I crouched lower. A crack echoed. The ground beneath me shifted. Not an explosion, not an impact, just a movement, something alive, something beneath the surface. I smiled again. This was the perfect battlefield, the kind humans thrived in. Chaos, noise, rules they could not learn, mistakes they could not predict. I pulled the rifle closer, checked the scope again. Dust in the lens, scratches, fingerprints, perfect imperfections like me. The alien army did not see me yet. But they would. And when they did, everything would change. The alien commander moved. Slow, deliberate, like a tree bending against wind. Too perfect, too predictable. I measured distance with my eyes, not the instruments. Instruments lie. Humans learn the lie and exploit it. The wind hissed through broken metal. Dust swirled in lazy spirals. I wiped my visor. My reflection stared back, calm, unreadable. I shifted slightly. Boot hit rubble, a sharp clink. My heart kicked, not from fear, from pleasure. This was the game humans played best, chaos with control. They had sensors, motion detectors, thermal fields, infrared sweepers, too many, too orderly, predictable patterns. I smiled. I had no code, no algorithm, no AI to guide me, just me, human intuition, human mistakes turned advantage. I crawled forward, chest brushing jagged steel. My rifle leveled, lens scratched but functional, perfectly imperfect. A small alien drone hovered by a collapsed wall. Its single eye scanned. I froze. It drifted past, not noticing me. I exhaled quietly. Then I saw the target clearly. The commander, heavy armor gleaming chitin, eyes like molten silver. He surveyed the battlefield, ordered movements with a subtle flick. I whispered to myself, "Sweet baby plasma, that's him." I adjusted my aim. My finger hovered on the trigger, not pressing, not yet. Patience is a weapon. The battlefield roared around me. Explosions, metal tearing, alien screams. Yet here I crouched still, a shadow among shadows. I remembered the drills, first shot, longest wait, breathing slow, mind sharper than steel. I counted seconds, measured angles, calculated wind, not like a machine, like a human playing a machine's game and winning. A gust of wind, dust in my eye, not pain, not distraction, just a reminder humans survive, we adapt, we exploit. I shifted position slightly. Small, careful. The commander did not notice. I was invisible because humans do not move like aliens. Our chaos confuses them. I thought about my home planet. Earth, streets crowded, traffic, noise, humans improvising daily. That improvisation made us deadly here, made me deadly here. I exhaled, finger on trigger. A soldier passed near my line of fire. Too close, too fast, too human to ignore. I froze, waited, calculated, patience. Humans always calculate patience better than machines. I remembered my training sergeant. A sniper does not shoot because he wants. He shoots because the world gives him the opening. I smiled, opening forming. The commander raised his hand, signaling orders. A dozen soldiers moved forward. Not one noticed me. They moved in predictable lines. I lined up the crosshairs, not at their heads, at the joint. Weak spot in the armor, not fatal, just enough to disrupt. Humans know subtlety. Subtlety terrifies predictable minds. I exhaled again, slow, controlled. I pulled the trigger. The shot echoed like thunder trapped in a tunnel. The commander flinched. Armor sparkled, cracking at the weak joint. Movement faltered. The soldiers hesitated. Not enough to save him, but enough to show they were human in a human world. I smiled, not because of skill, not because of death, because the impossible happened. Humans created disruption from nothing. The battlefield shifted. Chaos spread like spilled oil. Aliens recalibrated, but humans were already steps ahead. Steps unpredictable, steps uncountable. A second shot, not the commander this time. A drone swerved, exploded midair. Sparks rained. I ducked behind a jagged steel beam. Dust filled my lungs. I coughed. No time to regret. Humans do not regret in battle. We adapt, we exploit, we improvise. The commander moved again. Not fast, not slow, just enough to test, to see if his patterns held. They did not. I adjusted aim again. Small movements, micro shifts, lens scratch but still perfect for my eyes. Imperfections humans exploit. Then a loud blast. Not mine, close, too close. Dirt kicked into my helmet, my visor scratched. I ignored it. Pain is distraction. Humans ignore distractions. Humans survive. I fired again. The commander staggered. Soldiers scrambled, not because they were weak, because humans operate outside their logic, outside their prediction. I breathed, felt the wind whip dust across my face, felt the vibration of the ground through my boots, calm, ready, alive. I counted the seconds, calculated the next movement, not with math, with instinct. Humans' instinct is sharper than any algorithm. I whispered under my breath, just a little more. Then another shot, another disruption, another ripple. The battlefield was alive. Explosions, confusion, alien orders clashing. Yet here I crouched unseen, calm, focused, human. A small smile spread across my face. Not arrogance, recognition. Recognition that humans were unpredictable, that humans were the variable the aliens could not calculate. The commander paused, scanning, searching, not seeing. I exhaled slowly, fingers still ready, heart steady. The battlefield roared around me, yet I was a shadow. I thought about Earth, streets crowded, people improvising daily. That improvisation was our weapon, that improvisation was me. The commander moved again. Mistake, predictable, human advantage. I aimed, breathed, pulled the trigger. And the world shifted, not gradually, not softly, like a storm breaking glass. The alien lines fractured, machines whirred, soldiers stumbled, commanders shouted in a language sharp and broken. Too fast, too precise, too unfamiliar. I stayed crouched, rifle leveled, boots buried in dirt and metal fragments. Dust clouded my visor. My fingers were steady, heart steady, mind sharper than their machines. One of their drones veered. Sparks shot out. It crashed into a supply tower. Boom! Metal screamed. Fire bloomed. I smiled, not because of destruction, because of understanding. Humans thrive when rules break. Chaos is a ladder. Humans climb it. A soldier charged, running blindly, claws slashing air. I fired a single shot, not deadly, disruptive. Armor cracked. He stumbled. They froze, tiny hesitation, enough for humans to see openings. I crawled forward. Low, careful, dust filled my lungs, my visor scratched deeper. I ignored it. Humans do not surrender to irritation. Humans endure. Humans improvise. I reached a collapsed wall, peered through a jagged hole. The commander moved again, gestures precise, commanding. Soldiers shuffled into formation, or tried to. Chaos corrupted them. I whispered, "Sweet baby plasma, they don't know what to do." A beam of energy screamed past me. Dirt exploded at my side. I ducked. My cheek hit rubble, dust and sparks in my mouth. I tasted metal. Not pain, focus. Survival. Humans survive. Humans adapt. Humans win. I counted, calculated, predicted, not with machines, with instinct. Humans' instinct is sharper than any algorithm. The aliens attempted to regroup. A massive walker unit rumbled forward, legs heavy, metal grinding, guns spinning, energy ready. I fired again. Single, precise shot, joint in the leg, sparks flew, the machine staggered, soldiers panicked. A chain reaction started. Explosions everywhere, alien weapons misfired, drones collided, smoke thickened. Ground trembled under the chaos they could not control. I moved, crouch, crawl, slide under debris. Dust in my eyes, visor scratched. I ignored it. Humans adapt. Humans improvise. Humans exploit every imperfection. A squad of alien soldiers advanced toward me. Too fast, too confident, too predictable. I leveled the rifle. Single shot, disrupted armor. One stumbled into another. Chain reaction. They fell like dominoes, not death, just disorder. Enough to confuse, enough to terrify. I exhaled slowly. Breath steady, heart calm. The battlefield roared, but I was a shadow. The commander shouted, voice sharp, metallic. Orders screamed out. Soldiers tried to reorganize, they could not. Humans are not calculated. We are unpredictable. We are chaos perfected. I moved again, closer to the commander, closer to the source of their coordination. Each step deliberate, each breath measured, each shot calculated for disruption, not destruction. Another drone appeared, swerving, scanning. I fired, sparks exploded, metal rained down, smoke choked the air. The aliens faltered, not fear, confusion. Their order corrupted, machines hesitated, soldiers froze, commanders shouted, nothing worked. I smiled, not arrogance, recognition. Humans were the variable they could not predict. Humans thrived in disorder. Humans climbed chaos like stairs. A large alien soldier charged, claws extended, armor heavy, movements precise. I waited, calculated, predicted. Shot, armor cracked, stumble, chain reaction, another squad distracted, another stumble, chaos spread. I crouched, breath steady, fingers steady, mind sharp. Humans were always the unaccounted factor, always the surprise, always the edge. Explosions erupted around me. Metal twisted, sparks rained. Alien screams cut through the smoke. Machines groaned, walkers staggered, drones collided midair. I moved again. Low, careful, eyes scanning, mind calculating, heart calm. Humans improvise, humans survive. Humans excel where order fails. The commander noticed something. Signal given. Soldiers turned, focused. Not enough. Chaos already spread. Systems failed. Humans always find the gap in perfection. I fired again. Joint crack, sparks flew. Soldiers stumbled, a chain reaction, explosion, smoke, dust, noise, chaos everywhere. I crouched low, rifle ready. Boots buried in dirt and metal, dust and smoke clouding vision. I ignored it. Humans endure, humans exploit, humans improvise. I noticed a small group of aliens trying to flank. Too fast, too predictable. I calculated angles, fired once. Stumble, chaos. They paused, uncertain. The battlefield was alive. Explosions, smoke, screams, sparks. Yet I moved through it unseen, shadow among shadows, calm, focused, human. I smiled, not because of skill, not because of destruction, because humans thrived where rules failed, because humans climbed chaos and survived. Another blast nearby. Dirt kicked into my helmet. Sparks danced across the ground. I ducked, fingers steady, breath steady, mind sharp. The commander moved, gestures sharp. Soldiers tried to regroup. I aimed, fired, sparks, stumble, chain reaction. I exhaled slowly. Battlefield roared, chaos everywhere. I was a shadow, calm, focused, human. I whispered, just a little more. The aliens faltered, not defeated, confused, systems failing, soldiers frozen, walkers staggered, drones collided. I moved again. Crouch, crawl, slide, dust and smoke choking, boots buried, visor scratched. I ignored it. Humans survive. Humans improvise. Humans exploit chaos. Another shot, another disruption, another ripple. The battlefield trembled. Aliens staggered. Humans thrived. Chaos, disorder, unpredictability, our weapon. I breathed slowly, finger ready, heart steady, mind sharp. The commander scanned. Not seeing, too much chaos, too many variables. I smiled, recognition. Humans are the unpredicted variable. Humans climb chaos. Humans survive. Humans excel. The battlefield was alive. Explosions, smoke, sparks, shouts, groans, chaos everywhere. I crouched, rifle ready, boots buried, breath steady, mind sharp. Humans win where chaos rules. Humans survive where order fails. Humans are the edge, the battlefield roared. Smoke twisted into the sky. Sparks rained down like fiery insects. Alien soldiers scrambled, their perfect formations shattered, machines groaned, walkers staggered, drones collided midair. And yet I moved like a shadow, calm, silent, human. I leveled my rifle at the next target, not for death, for disruption, for imbalance. Humans thrive when order breaks. Humans exploit openings. A soldier passed by, too fast, too predictable. I fired, joint cracked, sparks erupted. He stumbled into another, chain reaction, perfect chaos. Then the comms crackled. Who is the sniper? The alien voice was sharp, metallic, broken by static. Not anger, not fear, curiosity, confusion, recognition. I froze, not from fear, from satisfaction. This was the moment humans live for. The moment when the predictable enemy realizes the unaccounted variable exists. The commander spoke again, this time clearer, louder. Identify the human anomaly. I felt my chest tighten, not with pride, not with arrogance, with acknowledgement. Humans rarely receive acknowledgement from those who underestimate us. The alien soldiers hesitated. Their systems faltered, machines misfired, drones wobbled. They looked around, searching, confused, panicked. I smiled, not a grin, not a laugh, a calm recognition. Humans were always the unexpected factor, always the unpredictable, always the edge. Then my own commander's voice came over the comms, clear, firm. That's not a soldier, that's a human. I froze, not from shock, from weight. That sentence carried more than recognition, more than fear. It carried history. Every time humans were underestimated, every time humans were called weak, every time humans were ignored, all of it compressed into that single acknowledgement. The aliens scrambled, their formations fragmented completely. Soldiers collided, machines misstepped, walkers staggered, drones fell, chaos spread like wildfire. I breathed slowly, my fingers steady on the rifle, heart calm, mind sharp. Humans excel in chaos. Humans survive in disorder. Humans exploit openings no one else can see. I moved again, crouch, crawl, slide under debris. Dust and smoke clouded my vision. My visor scratched. I ignored it. Humans adapt. Humans improvise. Humans thrive. Another drone appeared. Swerving, searching, I fired. Sparks exploded. It crashed into a wall. Dust and metal rained. The aliens hesitated, confused. Recognition had disrupted them more than my shots. Their logic failed. Systems faltered. Orders went unanswered. Chaos became their master. I leveled my rifle at the commander again. Not to kill. Not yet. To signal. To remind. Humans were unpredictable. Humans were the uncalculated variable. Humans were alive where order failed. The commander's gestures became frantic. Signals given. Soldiers turned. Systems recalibrated. Too late. Chaos already spread. The human factor was present. The battlefield shifted. I exhaled slowly. Breath steady. Mind sharp. Humans thrive when rules collapse. Humans climb chaos like stairs. Humans survive where order fails. I watched the commander hesitate, not understanding, not predicting, just recognizing that humans existed outside their calculations, that we were more than their simulations. Another shot, joint cracked, sparks flew, soldiers stumbled, chain reaction, the battlefield screamed, chaos ruled, humans moved like ghosts through it. I smiled, recognition again, not arrogance, not pride, just truth. Humans survive, humans adapt, humans excel, humans climb chaos. The alien commander scanned the battlefield, searching, trying to find me, systems failing, soldiers frozen, walkers staggered, drones collided. And then I saw it, a subtle movement, a flicker of fear in their eyes, recognition. They saw me, not as a soldier, not as a threat, as a human. The words repeated in my mind. That's not a soldier, that's a human. Not just a sentence, a declaration, a truth, a warning, a reminder. I moved again, crouch, crawl, slide, dust and smoke choking, boots buried in dirt and metal, Visor scratched, I ignored it. Humans endure, humans improvise, humans thrive. Another alien soldier charged, claws extended, armor heavy, movements precise, too predictable. I fired, joint cracked, stumble, chain reaction, another soldier stumbled, another drone fell, chaos spread. The battlefield trembled, explosions, smoke, sparks, shouts, groans. The aliens could not regain control. Humans had changed everything. I breathed slowly, fingers steady, heart calm, mind sharp. Humans thrive where rules fail. Humans survive where order collapses. Humans exploit chaos like it was a ladder. The aliens faltered, not defeated, confused, systems failing, soldiers frozen, walkers staggered, drones collided. I moved again, crouch, crawl, slide, dust and smoke clouding vision, boots buried, visor scratched, ignored. Humans adapt, humans survive. Humans exploit the unpredictable. Another shot, another disruption, another ripple. The battlefield was alive. Explosions, smoke, sparks, shouts, groans, chaos everywhere. I crouched low, rifle ready, boots buried, breath steady, mind sharp. Humans win where chaos rules. Humans survive where order fails. Humans are the variable. Humans are the edge. I whispered just a little more. The alien commander paused, scanning, not seeing, systems failing, soldiers frozen, walkers staggered, drones collided. I smiled, recognition again. Humans are always the unpredicted variable. Humans climb chaos. Humans survive. Humans excel. The words echoed in my mind. That's not a soldier, that's a human. And with that the battlefield shifted, not completely. Smoke twisted in lazy spirals. Sparks rained like molten stars. Machines groaned. Broken drones smoldered. Alien soldiers staggered. The air smelled of metal and fire. I crouched behind a crumbled wall, rifle still ready, boots buried in dirt and debris, visor scratched, dust in my lungs, ignored. Humans endure, humans adapt, humans exploit every opportunity. The commander moved, slower now, careful, calculated, not because he wanted to, but because humans had rewritten the rules. I leveled my rifle at a walker unit. Sparks still crackled from its damaged leg. Its movement faltered. Soldiers nearby hesitated. Confusion spread. Fear bloomed. I fired, single shot, perfectly placed. Sparks exploded. The walker tipped, crashing with a sound that shook the ground. Aliens froze, their coordination broken. I crawled forward. Low, careful, dust and smoke stung my eyes. I ignored it. Humans adapt. Humans survive, humans thrive. Another squad advanced. Not noticing the broken chaos around them, I fired again. Armor cracked, sparks flew, chain reaction, soldiers stumbled, drones crashed midair. The battlefield was mine, not because I was strongest, not because I had the biggest weapon, because humans operate where others calculate. Humans survive where others fail. Humans exploit chaos. Humans climb it like stairs. I exhaled, fingers steady, heart calm, mind sharp. Humans thrive where order collapses. Humans excel where systems fail. Humans survive because we do not follow rules, we rewrite them. The alien commander shouted, commands sharp, metallic. Broken, soldiers tried to regroup, walkers staggered, drones collided, systems failed, chaos ruled. I moved again. Crouch, crawl, slide, boots buried, dust and smoke choking. Visor scratched, ignored. Humans endure, humans improvise, humans win. Another soldier charged, claws extended, armor heavy, movements precise, too predictable. I fired, joint cracked, sparks erupted. He stumbled into another, chain reaction. Another soldier fell, another drone crashed, chaos spread. The commander scanned. Searching, not seeing, confusion bloomed, recognition. Humans existed outside their calculations. Humans were the unpredicted variable. I whispered just a little more. Explosions erupted nearby. Sparks rained, smoke thickened. Metal groaned, walkers staggered, drones collided, soldiers froze, the battlefield shook, humans moved like ghosts through it. I fired again, not to kill, to disrupt, to remind. Humans survive where order fails. Humans exploit chaos. Humans thrive in unpredictability. The alien commander froze, not understanding, not predicting, just recognizing the uncalculated variable, the human. I crawled closer. One last shot, perfectly aimed at the joint in the walker's leg, sparks flew. The machine toppled, soldiers scattered, chaos complete. The battlefield was silent, not calm, not peaceful, just quiet after the storm. Smoke twisted, sparks fell, metal groaned, aliens staggered, disoriented. I lowered my rifle, breathing steady, heart calm, mind sharp. Humans win because humans do not surrender to predictability. Humans survive because humans do not follow rules. Humans thrive because humans improvise. I looked around. Soldiers, both human and alien, scattered across the battlefield. Machines damaged, systems failed, chaos complete. The commander moved. Slowly, carefully, he saw me. Recognition, not fear, not anger, just acknowledgement. Humans exist outside calculations. Humans survive where order fails. Humans excel in chaos. Humans climb the ladder others cannot see. I exhaled, fingers relaxed, boots still buried in dirt, dust and smoke in my lungs ignored. Humans endure. Humans adapt. Humans exploit every opportunity. The battlefield remained twisted and broken. Smoke rising, sparks raining, metal bent, aliens staggered, systems failed, yet humans stood, alive, adaptable, unpredictable. I smiled, not because of pride, not because of death, because the impossible had happened. Humans survived, humans excelled, humans thrived. I whispered to myself, just a little more. A drone fell nearby, sparks flying, smoke twisting, soldiers frozen. The battlefield alive with chaos. I moved again, crouch, crawl, slide, dust and smoke choking, boots buried, visor scratched, ignored. Humans survive, humans adapt, humans exploit chaos, humans thrive. The alien commander finally lowered his weapons. Slowly, carefully, recognition in his eyes, not defeat, not fear, just acknowledgement. Humans are the variable. Humans cannot be predicted. Humans climb chaos. Humans survive. Humans excel. I breathed slowly, fingers steady, heart calm, mind sharp. Humans win where chaos rules. Humans survive where order fails. Humans exploit unpredictability. Humans climb the ladder no machine can see. The battlefield remained quiet, smoke rising, sparks falling, metal bent, aliens staggered, systems failed, chaos complete, humans prevailed. I lowered my rifle, crouched, boots buried, dust and smoke in my lungs ignored. Humans endure, humans adapt, humans exploit, humans thrive. And in that quiet I realized, we are humans, we survive, we adapt, we climb chaos, we thrive where others fail. The battlefield remained broken, but humans walked through it alive. Unpredictable, unstoppable, human.